All right. Hey, where in the world is everybody? We only have 17 people tonight. Last week we had 31. So that's like almost a 50% reduction in the peoples. So we got to fix that. So do me a favor, shoot some text messages out or something and just kind of see where everybody's at. Because there's no way it's like college night all of a sudden and everybody just like decided to go party when they haven't been for a couple weeks. So we got to figure something out. All right. It's almost month end, right? We're coming into that period of month end. And so what we're normally focusing on at that time is getting through the premium, right? Getting those numbers up, and we're never going to stop doing that, right? Just like we never stop on the recruiting side of things, we never stop trying to get people going. One, because this month the bonus is so high. You have an opportunity for a $300 bonus every time you get one recruit and 1,000 in premium. So we never want to miss that opportunity because there's no guarantee that when March rolls around, we're going to have that same opportunity. So if you're in your bonus window, don't miss this because if you lock it in now, it's not going anywhere. Okay. So don't let that happen. But I also want to try to give you guys a way to talk to other people if you're struggling on setting some
Mhm.
appointments, just another way to try to be able to maybe have and start that conversation. And so one thing really quick, guys, make sure your mute button normally when you come in, it automatically mutes you. So just watch that. Um, I'm gonna go over a few things like normal, right? So normal Thursday night stuff. We'll talk about what's going on and we'll shout out some of the closers. But tonight we are going to talk about client solutions. Couple of announcement things though, right? Andy did announce a final reset. So like right now through month end, if you have like you haven't even started or haven't done anything and you're brand new, you do one app and you get reset to winning, right? So you're reset into that last place spot. Any app that's like if you do 600 apps, like a 600 AP app, and you do two of them, right? You get double entries and double the size of the credit. If you do an app that's over 1,200 AP, so if it's like more than $100 a month, you get three times credit for that. So if you're already winning, you're going to get more credit. If you're not winning at all, you're going to get put into last place. So it gives you a shot, right? Like Apollo, we haven't done anything for you yet. It's something that you wanted to do. You do one app and you get put into last place winning. You could come in and do like three apps and just blow everybody out of the water. That's the power of the reset when Andy does this for incentive trips. And people get salty sometimes when he does it, but look, at the end of the day, he's the one paying for it. So he can kind of do whatever he wants. Like you would agree if it was your money and you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars or something, you kind of have the power to do whatever you feel like when it comes to the trip. So just so everybody kind of understands that, right? So that's out there. If you have questions about that or you're not sure, don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Don't hesitate to ask. This just came out today, right? So you guys may have seen it on POL that the Builders Summit schools and all that were canceled. There was just a just a big fiasco. So the Builders Summits during the spring were the reason that we weren't going to have an East Coast Builder School in May, right? Normally we do it in January, we do it in May, and do it in September. So we do it three times a year. Well, those are canceled now, but it's also not enough time for us to put on a full live in-person event. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of coordination, there's a lot of logistics that go into that. So what we're doing instead is we're going to do like a one day, like a Super Saturday type event, and it's free because it's going to be purely a webinar and it's only going to be one day. All right. Listen, if you were logging in on a ticket for Zoom for like a normal ECBS, you would still pay for a ticket. We're not doing it. It's just free. And listen, like if we can't blow the numbers out of the water with like a free like setup like this, we should easily get 70 to 100 people registered for this event. It's free. Send it to everybody. I don't care if you send it to somebody and they've never been around before and you're like curious or they're curious and they're like, well, maybe I'll go see what it's all about. Well, cool. If you're gonna ever bring them to one, bring them to one where they've got nothing but $1 million a year plus earners speaking, because that's probably the one you would want to bring them to, right? So go register. We put it out there in Telegram earlier. Literally, it's free. Just register like you normally would. It's one day. Still register under me. That way we can track that and we can kind of see those numbers. Because if y'all haven't figured it out, I'm kind of competitive. I like to win. So, right? It's just one other way to like poke the bear with people, right? It's like, dang man, you only got like one ticket. Like we got like 40. What's going on? Like it's fun, right? Like sibling rivalry, that kind of thing. Trust me, it's fun. So that's out there right now. Uh, go click that and go register. It's free. Trust me, it's free. It's free. Free 99. Okay, so that's May. This is September. September, you don't want to miss Hector. I promise you, if you're new and you're like, who the heck is that guy? You don't want to miss it. And you want to be here in person. Plus September and Florida, right? Those kind of go hand in hand. That's a great time to be down here. And it's a good time to be like away from anywhere else as well. So we have tickets for this. I don't have 25 anymore. I have 16, 17 maybe. So they're going. The ones that I have, you would log on and get your ticket for free, and then you would just like cash at me 20 bucks. If you try to do it right now, I don't even know. Did the price go up yet, guys? Are they up to 30 on the thing? I don't know. I think they're 30 on the thing plus the fees. It's probably like 33 bucks, right? So I'm going to save you some money, but when those are gone, they're gone. I can't get those anymore. All right. But if you don't have one yet, get it because even if you can't come in person, it's still going to get you the Zoom link for in September. It's going to give you a recording of the entire thing when it's all done. And if you're here in person, right? Well, perfect, even better. All right. Our goal is to have 50 people here in person in September. It's a big goal. We've never had more than I think 16, but we always have the most people in person, right? And there's no doubt between the correlation between the most people showing up in person and we're consistently the highest and most consistent producing base shop in the hierarchy, right? I mean, it just is. You can't fight the numbers. You can't fight the numbers. All right. So last week, right? Last week, just kind of real quick recap on where we were and where we are, right? So just week over week. So last week's closers, right? On the recruit side, Alyssa, Tennille, Amber, Noelle, and Angela, right? Look, guys, fun fact. One of the like top recruiters, like personally last week, already quit. Look, you can't make this stuff up, but I want you guys to know that that's what it looks like sometimes. That's okay, right? She already quit. Cool. You know what happened in the meantime, though? She quit, and before she quit, we brought in a couple of great people, right? That's what it's going to look like. That's okay, right? And on the life side, right? Angela was in first place. I was in second. Michelle, Haley was coming up, right? Haley was on the board, right? And then Sue Ellen. But check this out, right? Ready to jump forward? Look at this, right? In a week's time, we added over 11,000 in premium, five new recruits. We're still in the top 100, right? But we slipped a little, right? We slipped a little. Our numbers went up, but so did everybody else's, right? So if we want to stay competing, you can't slow down. You can't miss a day. That's where the consistency side of things comes in, right? So huge shout out to Deanna and Gabrielle, right? Jumping up there onto the leaderboard. Angela's still in first. Huge shout out to Haley. Haley went from 800 in premium last week to over 6K. That's a solid week, y'all. She did most of that on a Friday, Saturday. So for those of you that are part-time in the business and you're like, oh, but I work a full-time job and I do this and I do that, like great. So does everybody else. The majority of time when you're going to sit with clients is nights and weekends because that's when most spouses and families are together at the same time. So don't stress on that, right? I jumped up a little bit as well. Michelle and Emily Haynes got on the board, right? Michelle got some more on the board, and then Emily got on the board as well. So shout out to those guys, like shout out to the closers. Mel and I are throwing around a new idea, a new sort of incentive. Not going to release it yet, but we might start calling it like the closer circle, right? So private coaching, a little bit kind of going on, right? You get on the board, cool. Then you stay on the board consistently, like multiple kind of weeks in a row, or multiple closes in a row. We haven't figured out how we're going to track it yet, but something cool is going to come, right? And there might be a shirt, there might be something. So you tell me what would motivate you, right? Shirt, hat, I don't know, right? Something you can wear, something you can kind of show off. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. So listen, here it goes. Notepad. Okay, right? Notepad. Notepads are cool. This is going away, right? So listen, the bonus side of things next week is going to go away. Right. So March 2nd at midnight is the end of February production. That's when the extra, so like the $300 bonus, right? That's when that's going to go away. But if you've locked it in, Randy, right? You're in your training bonus window right now, you lock it in, it rolls over to next month. Whatever you locked in is yours. You don't lose that. Okay. You don't lose that until it pays you, until you pass your license exam and that pays you. But if you lock it in now, and next month it goes down to 200 again for the one by one. Doesn't matter. You're still bonus eligible. It's just going to be at a lower amount. So if you're going to do it, Do it now. Get as much done as you can now to get the extra money. Hey, it's Primerica's money, guys. I want you to get all the money, right? Don't forget. So tonight, what's the focus tonight is client solutions. Okay. So what are they? Well, if you've ever seen this cool little pinwheel diagram, the client solutions are up here in this upper left quadrant, upper left corner, right? Think of client solutions as sort of like the side dishes. In our business, in our industry, financial services, right? Life insurance and investments are sort of like the meat and potatoes. This is sort of like, your salad, maybe some corn, whatever you like. I don't know, maybe some dessert too. I don't care. However you want to think about it, that's what those things are. And so there's four, right? Answer Financial does auto, home, small business insurance, renters insurance, those types of things. Vivint is our home security solution, right? Smart home solution, monitoring, fire, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Identity and legal shield protection. I mean, they are what they are, right? Identity theft. Who's ever heard of LifeLock? Right? Like a LifeLock product, like identity theft monitoring, that sort of thing. That's essentially what it is, right? Credit monitoring, those sorts of things. Legal Shield, man, Legal Shield is like having a lawyer on retainer, right? We've used Legal Shield now in the last probably 6 weeks more than I think I used it for the first year that I had the product. They redid our wills. They did powers of attorney for us. Most of this was because our oldest turned 18, right? So we had to kind of change everything. And then just today, yesterday and today, we've been waiting on this refund from StubHub for some tickets that we got for the Ohio State Michigan game like months and months and months ago. Well, they've been jerking us around, and Melissa goes, "Why don't we just call Legal Shield and get them to draft a letter? That'll probably get StubHub to like get off their butt." And I was like, "Hey, why not? I don't know." So I shot him a note, right? You just put in like a request, consumer request, goes to your assigned lawyer's office. They called me back. Hey, here, well, consumer rights protection, there's some stuff we need. Can you give that to us? Let's talk about it really quick. 20-minute phone call with a lawyer. How much do you think if you just like randomly called a lawyer and you asked for a letter from their office to get some company moving and you had to spend 20 to 30 minutes on the phone with them and ask them to do something? How much do you think that would cost you? Just take a guess, right? Yeah, you guys are right in the ballpark, right? The phone call might be free, but the letter that they're going to draft for you is probably going to cost somewhere between $300 and $500. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I know because when we were selling our other house, we had to use a different lawyer and it cost us $500 to get a stupid letter drafted. No joke. No joke. Legal Shield's $40 a month. The will, like, think about this, guys. Two wills, three powers of attorney, a medical direct, couple of different medical, like just those things, right? Just those things alone would have cost several $100s per document, right? What we saved by using Legal Shield for that probably has like forward paid for another 3 years worth of Legal Shield for what it would have cost us just to do those documents, right? So it's a huge, huge benefit. But here's like, think about it like this, like, why do we actually have those client solutions? What do you guys think? Like, why does Primerica, a company that focuses on life insurance, right? The one thing with our name on it is life insurance. Why do we have all of those other things? What do you think? You guys can unmute yourself too. Like, I mean, it's just us, right? What
People
do you
need
think?
them.
People need them. That's a great one, right? Cover all aspects in life. What else?
They're key in building that bulletproof financial house.
Okay, I like that. What else? They're essential. I agree.
We're
What else, guys?
managing money and assets, and legal is a huge piece to that.
Okay. So, so everybody's focused on the legal side. Why do we offer home, auto, and small business insurance and renters insurance, right? Why do we even have that as an option? Like, who
We want
cares?
to help them save money so that maybe we can find more money to help them cover themselves appropriately.
There it is, right? There it is. Well, when you think about it, at the end of the day, what do we really want? Like, does this guy look mad or does he look happy? Looks pretty happy, right? You want happy clients, guys, right? You want happy clients. It went the wrong way, sorry. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it leads to client retention. And what I want you to think about, well, there's a couple reasons, right? The ultimate end goal is client retention. Like, don't be fooled. Like, we want to do great for things, like great for our clients. We want to get them the best possible thing. But at the end of the day, it's all about client retention and the numbers. And I didn't have time to get this on here. I shouldn't say that. I should never say that. I didn't make the time to get this done on time. That's the reality. I was helping Melissa cook dinner, is what happened, right? So it's not that I didn't have the time, I didn't make the time. So don't ever let me like say that because that's the truth. I didn't make the time to get this slide deck done soon enough. Here's the reality. If you have a life insurance product alone, because that's our main thing, right? It's what's got our name on it. If you just have a life insurance product, you have maybe like a 50-50 shot of keeping that person as a client down the road, right? Somebody comes along with a, $2 a month cheaper policy and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. I like $2. It happens, right? But the numbers show that if you've got a life insurance policy with somebody and an investment with them, the odds of them leaving you as a client down the road, they drop drastically. Your client retention goes from like 50% to 70 to 80%, just like that. Now you add one more thing, generally is going to be the legal shield, right? Sort of like the house, the roof over the financial house. So like the will, the power of attorney, trust, those sorts of things. Your retention is going to go into the 90s. Guys, if you have a legal shield product, a life insurance product, and an investment product with a client, you have a client for life. They're not going anywhere, right? Throw in home and auto for funsies and like you probably at close to 100%, about as close as you can get to 100% in just about any industry. Think about that though, right? Now, here's the other side of it. Here's like the other like industry side of it. Sometimes you're going to sit down with a client and they don't need life insurance, right? You sit down with a client who's in their, mid to late 60s. They've done things right along the way, or maybe even they haven't done things right along the way, and maybe they're just so unhealthy, they're medically uninsurable. Well, in that case, I can't really do much for them on the life insurance side. They're too old to grow an asset for them. I can maybe shift some things around for them. So maybe they come in as a investment client. Maybe they haven't done like end of life type things, right? They don't have a will set up yet. So there's an option. But guess what? Guess what everybody loves to do? Everybody loves to save money. Everybody wants to spend less on something that they have to spend money on. So here's a very powerful question for you guys, right? If if I could save you money, Tisha, on something that you're already spending money on, is that something you'd be open to taking a look at? Yeah, listen, guys, no one's really, I maybe have had one person tell me no in almost 4 years of doing this. And it was somebody that was a loyal customer with USAA. It had been like 30 years, and they're like, no, I'm not changing. I said, dude, you know what? I love the loyalty. I love it. Hey, had them forever, right? I had them for almost 20 years before we moved to Florida. And our rates almost tripled when we got down here. And I was like, look, I love USA, but we ain't doing this. This is not happening. It's not happening. And that's okay, right? But most people are not that loyal. Most people, if you said, I mean, Traylon, let's be honest, you don't really care like what company's name is on your car insurance card as long as it's a great company. Am I right? Perfect. Let's make a 20-minute phone call and see if we can just save you some money on your home and auto. Sound good? Perfect. Right. So let's talk about some things, guys. This slide deck is going to go pretty quick. I'm actually going to spend more time on like actual POL tonight. I want to show you some like how to of things. Okay. Right. So, whoa, too fast. Slow down, Campbell. Chill out, buddy. So look, here's all of the ways for everybody to make money right now. Like you don't need a license for any of these things. Now, there are some like minor exceptions. Like there are some states where you need licenses for things, right? Like Legal Shield in South Carolina, Virginia, and I think New Jersey and Massachusetts. Right? Don't quote me on the last one, but you need a license in those. So if you are in that state or you have a client in one of those states, we have several people for South Carolina that have and Virginia, right? Haley has South Carolina, I believe, and Virginia for a legal shield. I know South Carolina for sure. If you don't have Virginia, then tell me. But like if you're in one of those states and you need a legal shield product, you have to go to somebody that's licensed for that product. So Haley has South Carolina, Jessica Mead has South Carolina. And if there's a state where we need it and you don't have it, well, we'll get it to one of them. And if you were planning to do it for yourself and you had to go through Haley, guess what? You do it for yourself, Haley's going to get paid. She'll send you the money. I promise. She'll send you the money, right? Because if you can't do it for yourself and you want it, we still want you to have it. All right. Identity theft, you do not need a license at all, right? So we're talking about these. But like, you guys, look, you refer yourself, and the first month of your legal shield is essentially free. It's free. Who cares, right? Identity theft, same thing, right? You need a license for Ohio, Josh? I don't think so. Virginia, that's good to know though, right? So Haley, don't worry about Virginia. Jessica can do Virginia. Right, there you go. But Vivint, right? Vivint, we're going to show you a special thing for Vivint. If you're new and you're within your first 30 days, there's actually an extra $200 bonus if you refer somebody for Vivint in the first 30 days. So I'll show you how to do that. And then Answer Financial, guys. This is the big one. Home and auto insurance, right? And I already told you sort of why, because people like to save money, and like nationwide over the last 2 years, insurance costs have gone up roughly 30 to 40% in the last 2 years, right? So about 15, 20, and then like another 15, 20, close to 30. Like, has anybody's car insurance gotten cheaper in the last 2 years? Mine hasn't. The only reason mine got a little cheaper is because I've called and shopped it around. We call and shop it around every 6 months. Why? Because that's how often they renew. But that's because I'm in the business, right? And so, look, did you guys know, and be honest, right? All of you old people that have been around for a minute, don't answer. But for the new people, did you know that if you called and referred yourself, you could get paid to refer yourself for any of these products? Did you know that? Please answer in the Zoom chat. That's how I know. Okay, yes, yes. Did anybody not know? Did anybody not know? Did anybody just figure that out tonight for the very first time? I hope not, right? I hope not. Okay, Crystal, good, good. And for those of you that are Brittany, good. Guys, and check this out, right? Especially on the home and auto side. Here's a better question. And I'm going to jump over to the next one right now, right? Who hasn't called and shopped and quoted their own home and auto insurance yet? Who has not? Because tonight, I'm going to give you a like text thing that you can keep and change for your own rep ID, right? And that's what you should be sending to clients. But first, you need to call for yourself. Okay. You need to call for yourself. And that way you can see the process. You guys, this is one of those things where you have to like walk the walk, right? Because think about this, right? Me and Amber are good friends, and I want Amber to go check out her car insurance. Hey, Amber, listen, girl, when was the last time you quoted your car insurance? Never? Dude, do me a favor, because if I could save you money on something like car insurance and all you had to do is make like a 20-minute phone call, would you make that call? Heck yeah, you would, right? And then in the midst of that, she's probably going to say, well, have you called him yet? What's it like? But if I haven't called, I kind of lose some credibility. Guys, look, I don't care if you switch. And let's be real, you're only going to switch if they can save you money, right? If you call and they can't save you any money, you're going to be off the phone in probably 20 minutes at the most. Now, if you like it and you're going to switch, it's probably going to take you 15, 20 minutes extra, right? It's very simple. It's very simple. When we called and switched, or when Jen called and switched her daughter's insurance, I want to say they saved what, Jen? She saved 2,500 bucks a year, something crazy. It was a lot. Matt Rivera's sister still has the all-time record. Okay, Jen, 3,300. Holy smokes, right? Matt Rivera's sister still has the all-time record, like from our base shop that I've ever even heard, right? It was close to 5 grand a year on just car insurance, guys. 4,600. That's like $375 a month cheaper. Guys, think about that. That's a life insurance policy for her, all the kids, probably her spouse, and she still has money left over to pay off debt, start investing, pay for legal shield. I don't care. It was money she was already spending. She ain't gonna feel it. But now she's getting more for the stuff that she was already spending money on, right? All right. So look, let's explain this little colored chart here. All of the gray states, if your client is in that state and they call and switch, you get paid. You get paid. My old timers, I cut the chart off the bottom of this because I'm in Florida and that chart says I would never get paid. Trust me, I get paid. If the client's in a gray state or even in a blue state, I still get an override. I still get paid. You still get paid. Okay. Now, if my clients are in these red states, I ain't getting paid. And that's just reality. You'll only get paid if you have a property and casualty license, meaning home and auto type stuff. But you don't need that. You don't need it, right? There's so many other states out there. Because even if I have a client in one of these states and they switch and I don't get paid, I don't care. They're still happy. They still saved money. And what's that going to turn into? A happy client with more disposable income that can now invest or pay for that life insurance policy or get the home and auto or whatever, right? Or get the legal shield or Vivint or whatever. Okay, so here's the number, right? Angela, will you do me a favor? Will you throw out the answer financial text? Guys, at the bottom of that text message that you're about to see in Telegram. Oh, by the way, please, can everybody do me a favor? Make sure right now, go look at your phone. Did you just get an alert or like a notification or whatever that something went off in Telegram? For some reason, there's been like new people, like they're getting muted. I don't know why. I can't fix it. It's something on the phones. If if you got a notification, great. If you didn't get a notification, go like swipe that and unmute the chat. Okay. Do me a favor, like hold that down in Telegram and start reacting to it really quick. You can heart it, you can fire it, I don't care, right? Like just put like some sort of emoji on it. Don't respond to it. I just want to see that you're actually in there because that's what's going to let me know that you're actually seeing that. And guys, do me a favor, like when you see stuff come out, you don't need to respond to it. If you just hold it down and react to it, it will let me know that you saw it. The engagement from that actually drives it for more people to see it. Okay. So I would appreciate that, right? So look, I'll do the first one. So I just put a little fire emoji on there. There we go. Oh, see, I was looking at it and it wasn't even doing it until I did it. So sometimes it gets weird sometimes. Paul, you got a question, bud? Are you trying to give me a high five because I'm so good?
No, no, I was trying to quickly say if they look on their phone and it shows the little mute icon on Redline Atlas, all they have to do is pull like grab it and pull to the left, and it'll give options and then click the unmute.
Sweet. Exactly. That's exactly what I was doing when I did that, right? Like sometimes my my mouth just doesn't keep up with what the heck I'm saying. But look, guys, this is the chart, right? Like so Chastity, Crystal, John, if you're on, right? All you guys in Louisiana, check it out. Look, Louisiana's a gray state. Y'all should be tearing it up between Louisiana and Arkansas, right? One of my other big clients, or not big clients, right? She had one of the biggest savings ever was in Arkansas, like 3,200 bucks a month. I don't know what people are paying for car insurance, guys, and neither do they until you help them, right? Michelle and Apollo, right? When they called, Answer couldn't help them actually switch and save any money, but you know what they did? They taught them some techniques and told them some things to go check out, and they were actually able to save money with their current company.
300
How,
bucks.
how crazy is that? They saved you 300 bucks by just telling you to go do something else, right?
Yep.
You're
Yeah, it
welcome.
was 500 for me.
Guys, come on. That's 50 bucks a month almost. It's for like what, $42 a month just for some advice on a free phone call that took maybe 20 or 30 minutes, right? Like if I told you right now, I'm gonna like you go make a 20-minute phone call and worst case scenario, they tell you what you got is great. That's still a pretty good thing, right? You should call tomorrow if you haven't, and if it's been a minute, you should call again because rates change all the time. Before you renew the current policy that you have, call. Yeah. Guys, they're only going to tell you to do the right thing. Listen, it happened to us too. When we called like 3 months ago, we couldn't save any money, but they said, "Well, look, there's this weird thing. It looks like you've got a bunch of accidents on your claims history. What is that?" I was like, "Well, we have two." Like, well, there's two other ones. Oh, these are glass claims, but they're under here as like comprehensive claims. Like that's an accident. There's a whole separate category for glass. You should call and get that removed, get that updated, get that switched. It'll drop your rates a lot next time you renew. And I was like, what? Nobody ever told me that. You never know. You never know. You never know, guys. So please, tomorrow, give these guys a call. I want to say they're open from like 8 to 9 p.m., 8 to 10. They're open on Saturday. They're just not open on Sunday. Give them a call. Give them a call, right? Legal Shield, and then I'm going to jump over into actual Primerica Online. So do me a favor, if you're not on your uh, computer yet, or you're not at your computer, like pull it up on the side, or even on your phone, start getting ready to pull up your Primerica app because I'm going to walk you through some things here in a minute. But guys, this is Legal Shield, right? So there's three different levels, there's three categories. This one in the middle, the preferred, is 40 bucks a month. That's kind of like the sweet spot for most people. If it's just you and your spouse and like you have no kids or whatever, this maybe would get you by. Or if you just need like a will and a power of attorney type thing, and you're not worried about doing updates, right? Then just do this one. But look, will, power of attorney, living will, like a medical directive, a basic living trust. Most people, I'll be honest with you, most people don't need a trust. Most people just need a will. That's it, right? Trust is if you have lots and lots of assets and there's a bunch of things going on. But for most people, you just need a will. The list keeps going, and I'll show you, right? But look, uncontested separations, divorces, minor adoptions, right? Lease assistance, residential loan document service. Guys, there's a ton of different things that go into this, right? Letter, phone call, legal research, advice and consultation. Legal Shield is sort of like having a lawyer's office on retainer, right? Any of you guys ever have like rich friends when they're learning, like, oh my God, my dad's got to go talk to the lawyer, right? Most of us have known like at least one person like that. Well, this is kind of like that. You've got a lawyer on retainer. I shot a message to the lawyer's office. They called me that day. I didn't wait weeks and weeks and weeks. They called me that day, right? I put it in that night, like the next within 24 hours. I had a text message back that said, "Hey, no, someone from DSK Law is going to be reaching out to you." Blah blah blah. Boom, phone call. It's awesome. It's awesome. So look, I'm gonna hop out of this slideshow really fast, and I'm gonna jump straight into actual like Primerica Online because I want you guys to know how to get to some of this stuff. Plus, some of it just didn't make any sense to like drag from here to bring into like the actual like presentation. I'll just show you straight from PLO. All right. So let me make sure this is alive. Yes, I'm looking at UFC tickets for in April because they're back in Miami. Me and my son are gonna go. So just in case you're looking at my tabs, weirdos, I know you are. All right. So if you're on your phone, you can do this too, right? Here's a cool thing, right? So if you're on your phone, right? Because if you're out and you're talking to somebody and you're having a conversation, chances are you're not going to be like carrying your laptop around like an old school boombox, right? You've probably got your phone in your hand. And so if you've got your phone in your hand, check it out. Look, click it. Now, if you're not licensed, your menu on the side will look a little bit different, but not that different. What you're going to do if you're not licensed yet, you're going to scroll down until you see tools. And when you click tools, underneath tools is where you will see turbo apps. Okay. So click turbo apps. And if you're in here, right, and you're unlicensed, you'll be able to use the IBA feature, auto home, legal, identity theft. We make it pretty easy. And now this is if you're going to like set up and do a referral for somebody, right? Legal and identity theft, you can set up and refer them, take the payment for their stuff, get them completely set up right there and there. Auto and home, right, is going to take you to our third-party website. This is called Refer Secure. This is Refer Secure is Answer Financial. This is our team, right? So look, you can refer a client. This is where you can go back and look and see like if you referred somebody, excuse me, if they followed up and if they did their call, right? That you can review that activity right there. But look, review or yeah, refer a client, auto home, small business. Look, if you're going to refer somebody for auto and home, you just fill in their information. It's just their name, right? So my stuff automatically pops up. And then I go to add client information. You just fill it out. Their name, email, phone number, where they are, state, and then what language do they want to get called in, and then what do they want? Auto, home, renters. Guys, it's pretty simple, right? And then once you set that up, it's going to give you a time slot in a day. It sets up a time slot for an hour, right? Here, let's just see. So Jennifer, because I have Jen's email, right? And look, it's even going to tell me if my client's in a state that requires a license, boom, right? It pops up. And so Jen wants like a auto quote, right? And so when it picks the time, right? Today won't work because there's no more times left, right? But tomorrow, bum, 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 you're going to see hour slots, right? They're like 10 to 11, 11 to 12, whatever. Well, maybe not. Maybe there's not a time slot. Any agent. There we go. Maybe that was the problem. Here we go. So it's Saturday, right? From 10 all the way to 7 p.m. Now, when your people get a phone call from, in between 12 and 1, hey, Jen, you're going to get a call from maybe an 800 number. I can't tell you exactly who it's going to be. You're probably not going to recognize the phone number, Jen. Listen, answer that phone call. You wouldn't want to miss a phone call that could maybe save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year, would you? No. Okay, remember. So put something on your calendar that, from 12 to 1, Answer Financial is going to call you. You're not going to recognize the number. Just make sure you answer that call. Sound good? Awesome. Easy, right? And then boom, hit submit. Now I'm not going to hit submit because I don't want Jen getting a phone call for no reason, right? And I don't want to waste their time. But that's what it looks like. All right. That's what it looks like. And so if you've never clicked those buttons before, you've never seen that, go in there tonight, click this. And when you get here for the first time, you saw how my stuff popped up. Well, it's welcoming me back. If you've never been there or you haven't logged in a minute, it's going to say like create a profile or something down here. So do that. That way you've got it, create that profile, and then, hey, you know what would be really cool? Refer yourself through this portal once you set that up so that you can see the exact process and you know what's going to happen. Deal? Cheyenne, can you ask the question? Can you reshow the Primerica part? You guys just unmute yourself. Sometimes it's too hard in the chat. From the app or from like the actual like POL?
From the like in the beginning when you were walking
Yeah. Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if you logged into your app right now, right? Some of you that are new, it would look like your bonus page that would pop up first. But up here
Mhm.
in the upper left corner, that's always going to be the same. Like whether you're licensed and appointed, whether you're brand new, like your little menu over there is always going to be there. Okay. So click on that guy, this guy right here, right? Those three little lines. I wish I could flip that around. And then what's going to happen is your guys' turbo apps, if you're not licensed yet, they won't be up at the top like this. They're going to be down here under tools. So if you click tools, down underneath tools, if you're unlicensed, your turbo apps will be there. Okay.
Oh,
For
okay.
those of you that are licensed, your turbo apps just lives up here on the top. Okay.
Mhm.
So like Julia, your turbo apps are up here, right? Unlicensed like Crystal and Cheyenne, your turbo apps are going to be down here underneath your tool button. Okay. Once you click turbo apps, now it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Life application? Nope. Policy change? Nope. Mutual funds? Nope. Auto and home? Yay. Right? So click that guy, and then it's going to take you to the third party. Just click I agree. And then boom, now you're back in your portal. And if you haven't registered this yet, down here on your screen, it's going to have like create a profile. Create your profile, you're off to the races. Questions on that, guys?
Did you mention the small business?
Yeah, yeah. So if you refer a client, right, you can do small business or auto and home, right? And so small business insurance, you have to pick the state, obviously. So let's say Florida, right? Your rep information, once you set it up, will automatically go in here. And what does the business do? I don't know, food. And then you just start putting something in, right? And then things will pop up, all sorts of different things, right? So coffee shop, dental, distributor, e-cigarette sales. Interesting. Okay. Firearm, frozen yogurt shop. Here, cool. Why not? Right? Then you have to put in the actual business name. You can't refer for business insurance if they don't have an actual business. All right. So there has to be something there. And then it will ask some other series of questions like, what do they need? Most people from the business insurance side need some sort of like general liability insurance, workman's comp, potentially. That for the most part, that's about it, right? Those are the most common. And you get paid for the home and auto side, the renters side, the small business side. Right? You get paid for all of it. You get paid for all of it. And it counts towards like points for trips and all the good stuff. All right. And
Quick
then,
question on the business now.
yes, sir.
Does that need to be where they're at or where the business is registered through?
It's where their business registration exists, right?
Okay, for the state. Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Just
Yep.
wanted to make sure.
Now, if you have like a weird sort of situation where for like tax purposes, the business is like registered in like Delaware or Wyoming or something like that, but the actual like physical location is a different place, the insurance is going to follow the physical location of the business. Just if there's like a weird situation like that. But all right, here's the last one that I want to go over because this is the one for the newbies that is like extra for you. Now, this is primericaonline.com, right? So the app is Primerica, right? But this is like the actual like full service side of things. If you're on your app on your phone, you can still get there, right? So click the three lines, you get your menu back on the left-hand side over here. Down here where it says Primerica Online, click it. Watch what happens. Boom. Right. And even if you're on your phone, you can go straight to this from your phone. The thing I want you guys to see is that if you ever want more information, like more details on anything that, product wise, well, check all of these out, right? These are all drop downs. So products, life, investments, auto, home, right? You don't click on any of the Canadian stuff, right? It's not going to work for you, right? Identity theft, PLPP, Vivint. This is the one for the noobs, right? Vivint. And check this out. Right now, if you get 3 installs, is it RVP and above? Oh, never mind. That's like for the whole base shop. Don't worry about it. But incentives for the noobs, right? Brand new for the noobs. If you're new within the first 30 days and you have someone that does a Vivint install, you can make an extra $200 bonus just for watching the video. Literally, that's it. So under incentives, go to videos, new rep incentive. Go watch the video. You're going to learn something, and it qualifies you for an extra bonus if somebody does an install. The only requirement on the install is that they have to do it before March 31st and within your first 30 days in the business. The Vivint promo that's going on right now is 250 comp for you, which is always there, and an extra $250 gift card. That means if you refer somebody right now and you're in your first 30 days and you go watch this, that one install is worth a $700 commission. That's insane. $200 bonus, 250 normal comp, plus a 250 gift card. That's bananas. Guys, it's super cool. And then if you want like flyers or like different things or just learning more about the different products, look, it's all here, right? You have everything that you need, resources and materials, they're all set up the kind of the same way. Okay. And then the last piece that I want to show you is on the legal shield side of things, PLPP. That's your legal shield. All right. Personal legal protection through Primerica. So I've got a PDF already up for them because I want you guys to see how many things are built inside of PLPP. So look at this. These are the ones I showed you earlier, but below minor adoption, right? This is where we left off when I was on the Canva. Look what keeps going. Prenups, that's kind of cool. Name changes, if you need help with that, right? Traffic tickets. Guys, I probably can tell you 7 to 10 stories about Andy getting out of a traffic ticket because he got the ticket and went to his Legal Shield app, took a picture, sent it in, and they took care of it. Think about that. That dude drives like lead foot, right? He way too fast all the time. Andy's on his phone all the time. It's probably not safe. It's probably something we should talk about. But it is what it is. But they'll fight tickets for you. They will. It's
You have to
crazy.
have it before you get the ticket, though.
Yeah, your mom's, yeah, we know. Haley's mom drives like a crazy person too, right? Got to have it before you get the ticket. It's got to be in place before you get the ticket. All right. Look at this. Anybody ever worried about like getting audited by the freaking IRS? Audit assistance in place, right? Crazy. Online notarizations, emergency access. I don't know what that means. I don't want to know what that means, to be completely honest, but it's there, right? It's listed. It's listed. And then this is cool too, right? If you come up with something wazoo that this doesn't cover, your legal office is going to give you a discount on whatever their normal hourly rate is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, right? But to be completely honest, right, this is the big one. This is the big one. The traffic tickets and the wills, right? Now, here's the other like dirty little secret. With this stuff right here, the wills especially here, let me change my this one. With these ones right here, if you sign up for Legal Shield and get your documents and you're happy with it, and you do it all within inside of a month, and you cancel your Legal Shield, you know what they can't take away from you? All the documents that you just did. They're yours. They're prepared by a lawyer's office. You got them. They get notarized. Fakunk, they're done. Look, if you get rid of it after that, you just ain't updating them. You lose the probate assistance. I don't know if anybody's ever had a family member pass away and all of the stuff went into probate, but having 25 free hours of covered service for contested probate proceedings is huge. If you've ever had to like fight a will or like a will that you're like, that ain't a will, like that was not their will, right? Probate is not simple. And trust me, you want legal representation. Well, guess what? I don't even know what those 25 hours of like contested probate costs with a lawyer, like an actual lawyer's office would cost you, but I guarantee it's more than 40 bucks a month. I guarantee it. 25 hours from a lawyer's office. I mean, what's an average lawyer cost, guys? 250 bucks an hour? 200 on the cheap side, maybe? Like I'm like bargain discount lawyer. You're probably looking at like $300 to $500 an hour. There you go, Jen. 450 for a good one. Let's go low end and just say 300 bucks an hour. Well, 300 bucks an hour times 25 hours is how much? Somebody pull out a calculator for me. I mean, just think about that alone, right? That alone, it's 7,500. It's a lot, right? More, higher, less. I don't know. It's a lot. 87.50. Just the probate assistance alone. Okay, now 87.50 divided by $40 is how many months of Legal Shield. God forbid you ever actually had to use that probate assistance. This is how my brain works, right? This is how my brain thinks. When I'm looking at things relative to value, perceived value, all the things built in, right? 87.50 divided by 40 bucks a month, 218 months. Okay, divide that by 12, please. I just want you guys to see how my brain works when I think about things. 18 years. 18 years. Guys, just the probate assistance alone inside of Legal Shield at an assumed rate, if you used it, is worth 18 years of paying for Legal Shield. If you had to do it outside, that's crazy. That's crazy. That alone should make you realize how much value is inside that thing. And it covers your household. That's the middle of the road one that covers you, your spouse, and all of your dependents. That's nuts, right? I mean, I could go on and on about legal show, but I'm listen, like I'll go set up like a tent outside of a friggin' Target and sell legal shield because this stuff works. It's amazing. It's amazing, right? Yeah, there you go. A trust, 5 grand in Alabama. Did you see what the trust costs, right? 250 bucks per person. That's nothing. That's a tenth. That's 10% of what it cost. Crazy. So listen, guys, I'm not going to keep beating you up about Legal Shield. The point of tonight is to show you that there are so many ways to have a successful Primerica business. Okay. So many ways. And if you don't believe me, watch this. Watch this. Because everything is trackable inside of Primerica, right? Everything's trackable. You can look up everything. So let's look up production leaders. Production leaders, sure, RVP and above. Actually, we'll go below RVP. RVP and above is better. We'll say month to date and North America. So like this is the entire continent, right? And let's look at dun, 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 dun.
Can I
Um,
interrupt you for 1 second?
nope, not yet. Let me do this.
Okay.
Look at this. 20, just 26 auto and home just this month. Is there a Vivint one? PLPP. Here we go. PLPP. Somebody did 18 PLPPs this month, right? I don't know who Fatima is, but 18 PLPPs just this month, guys. Like as that continues to grow over time and you start looking up like cash and production and renewals and residuals and stuff out of that, guys, that's going to be huge, huge down the road. There's a chart somewhere that talks about the way that the residuals come up. It's insane. It's insane. 5% Matt was the 250. I was saying for a member and a spouse would be 500. That was the 10% of the 5K. That's where I got that math. But Michelle, go ahead. Now you may interrupt me.
Sorry, Joni asked the weird question just because you said continent and we don't do Mexico, just Canada and US, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. We do not do Mexico. We are in Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, right? So, and we are in those places. Those are U.S. territories. But you can't, if you don't live on those islands, you can't go sell products there. You can't recruit people there. We would decimate the market, right? We would absolutely decimate the market. People on the island that are agents would never have a shot, right? They wouldn't have a chance. Yeah, Jen, the comp for all of those things rolls up, right? So here's the last one I'll show you guys. Like if you ever want to just look up compensation, POL home compensation, and you like I'm telling you, like nothing is a secret, okay? Product commissions and PLPP. PLPP, and so your question about like you saw Assad, right? So in like from levels up, so like I'm your regional vice president, Andy and Brittany are your national sales directors, right? Nate and Melanie are above, right? Above Andy and Brittany, and then above that is Mario, and then above Mario is Assad. So Assad is 5 generations. So we're fifth generation to Assad, right? So like if I went and did, or we, any of us inside the base shop sold a PLPP, Assad would make $1. But think about that. How many thousands of people and reps and everything else are out there? Thousands, thousands. A dollar is just going to show up, right? It's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. And then renewals, right? So trails, residuals, renewals, that sort of thing. It all rolls up. It all rolls up. Okay. Questions on anything else, guys? Matt, you gotta unmute yourself. You don't understand that question.
I was asking if the PLPP worked the same way for like chargebacks and stuff because I seen where it says 2 year advancement.
Yep.
So if they cancel within the 2 years,
Yeah, it's a
then
prorated chargeback just like anything else.
okay.
But again, at the end of the day, if my client has the legal documents that they need and they didn't have it before, I don't really care. I'll deal with it,
Yeah.
right? It'll figure itself out. But yes, it would. It would
Yeah.
ultimately. And it would come out of your earns, right? If you don't have enough earns for that through that product line, it would come from intercompany recovery on other earns, right? So that's how that works. While we're on the topic, guys, because people ask all the time, just so you guys know, right? Charge back. So if I sell someone a life insurance policy and I get paid on that, I'm advanced a amount, right? So that advance is 75% of what my commission was on that premium. Hold on, I've got a chart, trust me, because it's way easier to look at it. It's way easier to look at it. So don't freak out. Just everybody take a breath, right? So how does this work? How does this work? So this is the same policy written by like one person at every level all the way up, right? So you're brand new as a representative, you're at a 25% contract, you can never be lower, all the way to me as a regional vice president. I write the same policy. I'm at 110% commission contract. Okay. So same work, about an hour, I make more money. That's why you want to go as high as you can, as fast as you can. Because if you're going to do the same work anyway, you want to get paid more for it. Okay. So easiest math, right? You're at a 50% commission contract and you write a policy that's 1,000 annual premium. 1,000 annual premium is a policy that's $83.34 a month. Whatever the monthly is times 12, right? Just so you can kind of see it, right? 1,000 is your AP. There's 12 months in a year. So if you write a policy that's $83.33 and a third repeating cents, right? That's 1,000 AP. So that's your monthly times 12 times your commission, right? Times your commission. Boom. That's how much you get paid, right? So 500, that's how much you got paid. That's your commissionable amount. Your advance is 75%. That's what's going in your checking account in a couple of days when the policy processes. Okay. So that's like the first 9 months of the policy. That's how that works. So now the policy's been in force for 7.5, 8 months, and somebody cancels it, or they changed their banking info and it didn't get paid and it lapsed, right? Now, I got advanced for the first 9 months. They paid for the first 8. So I'm only going to get charged back for 1 month of that policy, right? So whatever this amount would be divided by 9, that's the small amount of the chargeback that I'm going to be responsible for. Okay. These other pieces down here are earns. Because remember, you made 500, but Primerica gave you 375. That other 125, now the clients had the policy for 9 months. Going into month 10, right? They're going to start paying you little chunks of the rest of your earns, right? For what you've earned. So month 10, you're going to get a third of this. So what is that? $41 and some cents, right? The next month is $41 and some cents. And then the last month is $41 and some cents until you've been paid for that first full 12 months of the policy. Okay. Now, you write a policy, it goes in, and then it completely charges back like a month later. And it was never, and like they never really kept it in force at all, or they pulled it in their free look period, right? Now, I was advanced 375, but I also got charged back 375. Now, when that happens, you're not like on the hook and like writing a check to Primerica to pay that off. You can pay it through the payment center, but you don't have to. The most common way to do it is just go back out and write another policy. It clears the debt, right? If it's big enough or if it's the same size or bigger, it clears the debt and then you get paid whatever's the leftover, the delta, the difference. If you wrote it and it didn't clear the debt because it was a smaller policy, well, it just, whatever you should have been paid just went straight to covering your debt. But you didn't have to come out of pocket to do it. Okay, so that's the way we cover those chargebacks. Now, if you wanted to just get rid of it, like say you're chasing an income milestone, right? You're going for your 50K watch or your 100K ring or something like that, and you're like right on the cusp, and you want all of that to hit your like account for the rolling 12 kind of thing, yeah, you can go pay that back ahead of time. It's up to you, right? It's up to you. Here's another fun fact, right? For the business hack side of it, I have a business credit card, right? I would sometimes go in, pay those chargebacks off with my business card, get the points for those. I still have to pay it, right? Like I still have to pay that off on the credit card, but it wipes it from my debt tracking system. Now it's gone. Now I can start getting advances again. My rolling 12 cash keeps going higher. Fun fact, just in case, right? It's kind of frowned upon if you have to do it too much, but every once in a while you can sneak that guy in there. Trust me. Trust me. I've done it. I've done it. All right, guys, we're at 1 minute prior, so we're out, right? Meetings good. I'm gonna stop this recording. I will get the